Hassan, the Information Secretary for Imran Khan's political party, the PTI, joins me now from Islamabad. Welcome to you. Thanks very much for being with us. What's your reaction there to the government saying that Imran Khan's arrest and sentencing has nothing to do with the forthcoming elections later on this year?
Absolute hogwash. This was always the motive, and they have, for the time being, achieved their motive. There was a three-pronged strategy which they had launched, after ousting him. One was to have him politically sort of neutralized, They tried, but out of the 37 elections, he won 30, so they did not succeed at that. Then, of course, you mentioned in your preliminary that there was an assassination attempt and 2 other assassination attempts were reported. Now, this is the third phase where they were trying to have it implicated in one or the other case, and they have, technically speaking, succeeded in doing it all through. There was only one objective that guided all this, and that was to get him out of the election race. But he is not going to be out of the election race. There's a long way to go. It's a long haul, and we're going to fight every step.
Yeah, so what does happen next? Because his sentencing does mean, technically, that he isn't going to be allowed to fight the next election.
Well, basically, it's a legal battle now. We've already moved our petition before the Islamabad High Court, and we are requesting them to hear it today or tomorrow. Possibly not today, that maybe, that it comes up for hearing tomorrow or then latest on Monday, which technically can lead to suspension of sentence, So he should be a free man, Then, of course, the proceedings will begin, and they will decide whether the case had any merit or not, and, and then the High Court will give its own judgment, If we get the case quashed, at the High Court level, that's all good and fine. Otherwise, then after that, we can go to the Supreme Court, the apex court of the country, and we can fight our case. So as I said, it's going to be a long haul. But we are prepared. We expected this arrest, Unfortunately, it was a very rough and a very, the manner in which he was arrested, He was roughed up, he was shoved, he was, his face was covered in a black cloth, It's totally an undignified manner in which, a former Prime Minister and one of the world's best-known celebrities, was arrested, who did not have a blemish on his name before this case was registered. So it's a horribly premeditated hatchet job, as I call it, basically.
Yeah, there are currently more than 100 cases being brought against him, aren't they? As you said, you did expect this arrest, and we were just looking at footage of Imran Khan's statement that he released after the arrest, recorded beforehand. He has called for nationwide protests, and we understand from our correspondent that there has been a kind of muted reaction. What do you want to see happen next, that given that in the past these protests have led to very violent scenes?
See, he put a mechanism in place, because he was expecting his arrest, so he had put a mechanism in place. There's a core committee, and we had our first session of the core committee today, in which we have given a call for peaceful protests within the domain of the Constitution and rule of law. So there's going to be peaceful protests, It's too early to determine what is going to be the public response, but we expect, that it's going to be massive over a period of time. But let's not forget the situation in the country, where everyone who even says a word is picked up, all our senior leadership is either underground or behind bars. There are just 2 or 3 people, who are still free to talk, including myself. So when you look at this, when you look at how many people step out, you must also be sensitive to the fact, that this country is under a fascist stranglehold at this moment in time. But nobody's free, and this latest thing before the National Assembly, in which they have amended certain laws, the security agencies can walk into my house without even a warrant of arrest. They can walk in, they can arrest me, and nobody will ask them.
Okay.
So I think BBC should look at these amendments and changes, which have been made in the rules and regulations here.
Okay. Rauf Hassan, we must leave it there. Thank you very much, Information Secretary for the PTI party. Thank you.